What are the highest paying jobs in 2026 and going forward, not just 2026? I sat down and I started researching. Okay, with the change in trajectory in terms of automated flows and sequences, artificial intelligence, the new sales trajectory, marketing, and the likes. What are the highest paying jobs for this year and beyond? And I created a resource to help you guys navigate this current job market for those who are currently looking to transition into a much more paying and better career and a much more better economy, as it were. So let's get straight into it. My name is Inegben Stanley, and I head operations and everything here at Inegben. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Uh, what led to this research? First is we run multiple programs, and in the course of that, I am always curious to wanting to know what the future is like for our students, as it were. And that is what gave birth to me always wanting to learn more about the current economy, things that are happening, and how it would then eventually affect the market. So I decided to do more like a strategic realignment of global labor markets, all right, so that I could know how to better put um, a map to different skill sets to the different job that will be existing in this age of artificial intelligence and autonomy. Now, before we go forward, I would like to let you know that the global economy in 2026 is defined by a profound structural transformation in the valuation of human capital, right? And this is an era often described by market analysts as the great realignment, as it were, right? And this transition is characterized by a significant wage premium for professional capables of navigating both the intersection of the traditional business operations and advanced probabilistic system, right? So that is the major root cause of this transition, or what is characterized of, as it were. And the recent studies that we did indicate that industries which are most exposed to artificial intelligence, which is AI, have seen a nearly fourfold increase in revenue growth per employee, not just in their income now, per employee, which means the amount of money that an employee makes in these sectors which are more exposed to artificial intelligence has more than quadrupled, right? Suggesting that the initial experimental phase of AI adoption has transitioned into a period of tangible productivity gains and realized value, right? So this is a major trigger for the new highest paying jobs that we would have for 2026 and going forward, not just 2026. Now, consequently, the demand for specialized AI skills has moved from a niche requirement to a core organizational mandate, right? With workers possessing these competencies commanding an average wage of premium of 56%, a sharp increase from 25% from the previous year. And that is very, will I say, sumptuous for those who are more like skilled in that sector, right? And this is not just AI engineers, or you're talking about AI engineers, compliance, automated artificial intelligence compliance officers, sales people in the AI space, business development specialists in the AI space. We'll cover all of that as we go on. But I just want to give you a background to what actually led to this short video that we want to make right now with this detailed slide to just show you the different career path you might want to start considering. Not considering, you're already there, but you just want to just add AI to it. For example, now if you're in the cybersecurity place, specifically in the GRC and compliance space, you might want to what's it called? Want to consider AI compliance, right? We are talking about state sponsored cyber crisis. Now we're talking about regulatory environments and the clampdowns of multiple startups, right? Fines and the likes. So it is more, it's becoming much more volatile, as it were. But and the need for your expertise is higher. If you're in sales space, how you want to be. So there are roles called sales engineer, right? Where you need to now learn how to build pipelines with AI to like automate some of your workflows to mix. We'll get into all of those. I'm just giving you context that it's not just the technical aspect of AI that is making these high returns in this era, right? Now, the vanguard of artificial intelligence engineering, which is the rise of these high value technical roles, right? And basically, if you are starting from the engineering aspects, right, the engineering landscape in 2026, right, is currently marked by an intense degree of specialization, right, and the generic software engineering title is increasingly being replaced by roles that focus on specific components of machine learning lifecycle, right? So from infrastructure and data orchestration to model fine tuning and safe alignment, right? So basically, these roles are primary beneficiaries of the current talent war, right? With organization that are with organization very much willing like to pay extreme premiums for the ability to move AI from research to prototypes, from research prototypes to like product grade systems. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, basically, and there has been a rise of generative and agentic engineering over the last 2 years, right? And generative AI engineers have emerged as one of the most sought after professionals in the current market. So that leads us to our first table right here on our slide. So, artificial intelligence engineering, high value technical roles, right, in the AI space. This now, if you're in the engineering space, you're in the technical space, this slide is for you. We'll still move on to the cybersecurity, compliance, sales, and other roles, but this slide is specifically for you, right? These engineers they are responsible for designing and deploying generative models that process text, images, codes, and video. So everything you call generative AI is specifically an artificial intelligence that is intelligent enough to generate text, either marketing copies, sales copy, email text, blog post, post descriptions, whatever it is that you want to like basically create or generate create without having to like stretch your head, and you need something that has consumed enough data to like give you much more deeper context to whatever you are doing. We call that generative AI, and generative AI naturally uses three core technologies: NLP, NLG, and NLU, right? As it were. So those are the three core technologies used. But it is these generative models that then process text, image, code, and videos, right? We have tools like ChatGPT, we have tools like Gemini, we have tools like Cloud, we have tools like Perplexity, we have Kling, we have DeepSeek, we have a lot of them, right? If you are talking of writing, you have right Sonic, you have the likes of that, right? Even down to SEO now, all right? SEMrush, what's it called now? Similar Web and likes, right? So all of these technologies used the NLP, NLG, the NLU we talked about, and yeah, they are generative models that process text, image, code, and videos, utilizing advanced neural networks and frameworks such as PyTorch, TensorFlow, and Hugging Face. Here is where the engineers now come in. So these AI, their work is increasingly supplemented by agent systems engineers, right? Who build these multi-agent systems designed for autonomous workflow, right? And these systems use what's it called now? These systems use orchestration systems like um orchestration frameworks like LangGraph and Crew AI, right, to carry out tasks with limited human oversight, right? So a shift that is redefining the boundaries of automation in sectors like finance and enterprise planning. We don't even need to like talk about that. So and that has led to more like a new salary trajectory, right, for these engineering roles that you are seeing right now on my screen, as it were. Um let me see if I can take out this guy. Yes, perfectly. So yeah, so the salary trajectories for these engineering roles um reflect their critical importance to the modern enterprise. So mid-level general AI engineers typically earn between $109,000 to about 170K, right? And while specialists in natural language processing, remember I said three core technologies that power this generative AI: NLP, NLG, NLU. So NLP is natural language processing, NLU is natural language understanding, and NLG is natural language generation. I'll make a different videos probably explaining that um, later, right? Yeah. So basically, so while specialists in natural language processing can command up to 170,000, even at mid level, right? For those at the senior level, the compensation structure shifts significantly higher. So you can see what I have here. So generative AI, right? This is the role category, and these are the specialized job titles. So we have generative AI engineers, right? So this guy here. Their core technical stacks are PyTorch, diffusion model, and LangChain, and they earn between the typical range of 145 to $35,000, depending on the company you're working for. If you're working for bigger enterprises, they pay more than this, as it were. Then we have autonomous system engineers, right? These guys here, right? They are more like their specialized job title stems in areas like agent systems engineer, right? ASEs, right? And they use almost the same technical stack, but just the addition of Crew AI and React, as it were. And the and typically between 140 to $225,000, almost the same range. They have model optimization engineers or model optimizers, as it were. So these guys are more like the fine tune large language models. So hence why their specialized job titles are LLM fine tuning engineers. Their core technical stacks are deep speed, LoRa, RLHF, and VLLM, right? And almost the same salary range, right? Same as multimodals, right? So these guys are multimodal AI engineers, and they use stacks like Clip, Whisper, GPT-4V, and Gemini, right? As it were. Same salary range. Then you now have the robotics, which is AI robotic engineers, right? Then C++ is a major stack there, right? Then, but you have reinforcement learning, which is another major requirement. You have from 130 to 210. Again, depending on the company you're working, some company will pay way more than these ranges, right? So I'm just benchmarking on an average, right? So then you have the inference and speed sector or category in the AI space, which are AI performance engineers, as it were. They're talking about people who have skills like tensor, GPU optimization, and the likes, right? And their salary ranges from $135,000 to $215,000. Then you have core machine learning, which is machine learning engineers, and these guys use TensorFlow, scikit-learn, and MLOps, right? And the average there is $212,000 on an average, right? So these are benchmark salaries against different regions, as it were, right? So this is the first categories of the highest paying job in 2026 and beyond. Now we are going to move to the part of infrastructure, right? Uh, and that is where you now get to start talking about machine learning operations and inference stacks, right? So which takes us to our next slide. uh Now let's move to operations, right? So you have now the governance and ethics, where you now start regulating all of these operations and the likes. As AI systems now become more integrated into high stakes decisions, I decision making, the legal and ethical implications of their behaviors have created a massive demand for AI compliance and AI ethics rules, right? And this is more like the folks that like they act as referees, right? It's more like footballers. So this the initial role I was talking about earlier here. All of these guys are more like the footballers playing in this field, right? So they are responsible for building this system, securing the system, making sure that it's not exploited. All of these guys, right? Making sure that it works perfectly well, right? Then you have the club owners who are like the CEOs, the CTOs, the CFOs, right? Investors and the likes. Right. Of course, they are much more focused about user acquisition, market expansion, market dominance, and of course, what's it called now? Revenue generation and growth, right? So in the process of driving for this, you would need to regulate the mode at which they operate, and that is where these governance and ethics people come in. So yeah, I'll walk you through this, right? So as AI systems become more what's it called now, it becomes more integrated into high stakes decision making. Then the legal and ethical implications of their behavior have created a massive demand for AI compliance and AI ethic rules. And these positions are no longer like pure advisory, right? They are now embedded into the product lifecycle to ensure that there is a proper adherence, right, to emerging global regulations. So you have regulations such as the what's it called now, the EU AI Act, right? And the regional data privacy laws like GDPR and CCPA. You even have act like DORA, right, for the financial scheme. And for Africa, you have the AU AI, which is the African Union AI Act, as it were. So in Nigeria, you have NDPR. I don't know if it has started covering AI yet, but yeah, basically all of those operations, like you get. So then that is where different roles now come in, like AI compliance officer and governance lead, right? So AI compliance officers and governance lead are tasked with translating both complex regulatory requirements into technical specification for engineering teams. We talked about engineering teams being the footballers the other time. Now these guys are more like the referees, like trying to dictate what are offside, what are fouls, all of this kind of stuff, so that we there can be a defined no go threshold and threshold for models and deployment. So because design bias detection is needed, so all of those things so these governance and ethics people, they define the design bias detection dashboards, and they ensure that AI products ship with appropriate guardrails. The role is inherently cross-functional, right? Requiring the ability to navigate both conversational legal terms with data terms and executive terms, which means you have to now know how to like speak with both the legal teams, the data scientists, and the executive leadership of your company. Right. So, what are the rules in this particular space? These are the rules here: governance and ethics. So we have AI governance lead, and their primary focus is EU AI Act compliance, audit frameworks, NIST framework, GDPR, the AU AI Act and the likes, depending on which sector you are focused on, right? Or which region you are playing in. So the typical employers in these roles are global consulting and the big tech. So these are the people who are majorly being clamped down on by regulatory body, right? So that's those are the typical employers for this role, and the salary range is within $135,000 to $215,000, and that's a good one for AI governance lead. Then we have AI compliance analyst, right? And this is also depend on the company you are working with. Some company pay way more than this. So AI compliance analyst, right? And these people are responsible for model documentation, risk metrics generation, risk analysis, and the likes, right? So, and they typically work for legal firms, fintechs, health techs, critical. There are two type of cyber divisions. So we have critical infrastructures and non-critical infrastructures, right? So critical infrastructures and also this kind of bodies or companies are the typical employers for these roles, right? So we have set their salary ranges within $72,000 and $115,000. Again, depending on the employer, some pay way more than this. Now we have AI ethics officer, right? These guys, they ensure the fairness, transparency, and bias mitigation of AI products development and the likes. And the typical employers are enterprise platforms, right? So you want to talk about employers like Salesforce, Microsoft, OpenAI themselves, and the likes, right? These are just the big names, but of course there are a lot of companies playing on their level that would need them. So right, especially let's say for example you are deploying IBM Watson, other AI to like banks and the likes, they would be needed, right? So again, fintechs and health techs to need them. So the average salary here is $135,000, and we have AI security and an architect, and these people are responsible for primarily focusing on adversarial machine learning defense and penetration testing. So there is what we call AI what's it called now? AI reverse engineering and the likes, right? So people want to reverse AI engineer. So these guys are responsible for like securing that stuff and also drawing up the security architecture as it were, right? More like anything that is technically driving at the security of AI infrastructure or architecture. These guys are responsible for like drafting the various defense depths and layers, as it were, right? So, who are the typical employers? Cybersecurity firms, of course, right? Not just cybersecurity firms, fintechs, and the likes too, right? But we're just putting the major category employers here, right? And they end within 145 to 230,000 dollars right now. Then we have privacy and AI governance, right? Then this are the data privacy, DCCP, GDPR compliance, multinationals, and this multinational falls in different roles, down from your typical corporate body to automation platforms like customer support automation platforms, fintechs, health tech, whatever it is, right? They hire, right? And salary start from $65,000, average of $65,000 to as far as even $150,000, depending on the employer too. But here we just benchmark $65,000 to $82,000. Some pay lower than this, depending on the region you are. So if you are in the African region, the salary might fall a little lower than this, right? A little lower than this. So yeah. So what programs can help you come into this? For example, at our own academy now, at Inegben Academy, we run this course, which is the Global GRC and Training Certification. So this course can help you come into this role, right? So this governance and ethics role, our course prepares you for this role. So yes, and it's not just like typical prepare. The only thing we don't offer in our program is the core what's it called now? We don't offer penetration testing as of now, right? So this is what we might not be able to prepare you for. So this AI security architect is what we might not be able to prepare you for. Might, because some of our um practicals still cover that aspect. But from AI governance lead, AI compliance analyst, AI ethics officer, privacy and AI governance, we cover all of those in our curriculum. So it's a global GRC, governance, risk and compliance uh, program consisting of about 10 modules where you learn about fundamentals of introduction to GRC, overview of regulatory bodies and frameworks, importance of compliance in organization, risk management principles, financial crimes and compliance, corporate governance structure, integrated GRC strategies, GRC practical applications, and case studies. And this is our major practical module where we get to now start talking about a lot of things, right? So the GRC analyst masterclass, where you build your risk management plan, implement NIST cybersecurity frameworks. You learn identity functions under asset management for NIST, writing information security policies, step-by-step guide on building ransomware, and data sovereignty and residents, right? Mastering KPIs and KRIs, which is for information security success, right? Creating a threat intelligence program, right? Implementing SAPSA, right? Mastering vendor management and vendor risk management and risk assessments, as it were. Implementing ISO 27001, crafting ISO 27001 project initiation documents, how to write effective information security management system documents, and interpret clause 4, end-to-end implementation of BCMS ISO 22301, practical AI governance step-by-step process, and data privacy fundamental. Then we also move into AI and GRC, where you learn AI and GRC simplified, AI and GRC, AI for GRC programs, AI and GRC in governance and compliance, right? Transforming organization with Isaka Insight, right? Practical application of AI in cybersecurity, AI, this is live training, right? How hackers weaponize artificial intelligence and the likes. So you would learn everything, right? And right now, is currently on full scholarship, right? But the next cohort is starting in June. We This current cohort already started in last first week of February, and they'll be running up in May. So next course is in June. We prepare you for almost technically all of these roles here. Now the next part is AI product management and augmented sales, right? And this is the next part. So I would want to talk about the strategic bridge here, right? Which is the AI product management and the augmented sales part, because the evolution of AI has forced a redesign of the roles that connect technologies to customers, right? And the AI product manager, which is what we generally call the AI PM, and the sales engineer, are now the primary architect of value, right? That's with ensuring that technical capabilities are translated into measurable business outcomes, right? And the specialization of AI product management is broken down into various categories, as it were. So the traditional product manager role has branched into several specialized AI parts, right? And a typical AI PM must understand the probabilistic nature of machine learning, right? And recognize that unlike traditional software, AI features can have fluctuating performance metrics over time, right? And that is the volatility of the sector, as it were. And these guys are primarily responsible for defining the product vision, strategy, and roadmap while collaborating with data science team to ensure the successful development of AI powered solutions. Talk about platform AI PMs, applied AI PMs, responsible AI PMs, right? So platform AI PMs, they build the reusable AI components and infrastructure that supports internal teams. Applied AI PMs, they focus on integrating AI technologies into specific products such as recommendation engines, algorithms, and the likes, right? Responsible AI PMs, they ensure that products are developed ethically, focus on fairness and compliance. Again, that is where our compliance stuff comes in for. So if you're a product manager and you want to learn and you want to come into the responsible AI PM niche, you would most likely want to take our compliance program. It would prepare you more than you would ever think. Oh no, there's no curriculum right now globally that prepares you like this curriculum globally. I dare you to do your research and come back and drop your comments, right? Then and AI product managers are in high demand across the SaaS, healthcare, and fintech sectors. And salaries typically range from $161,000 to $20,000, with senior roles in major tech hubs exceeding $246,000. In fact, companies like OpenAI as of last year was hiring for a role like this, and I think they were offering within the range of 300 plus to 400 plus $1,000. And I actually also came across one that was offering almost $725,000. Yes, companies such as Coinbase, Dropbox, and Airwallex, right, are actively hiring for these positions to drive AI-powered growth and member experience, right? So now you have, what are the profession or the different role in this sector? So you have sales engineer. These guys, they translate code level understanding to C-suite levels, right? And hiring companies in these industries are Rubrik, Harness.io, Instabase, and the likes. And this is the current salary range. Now we have product architects. These guys are the PM part. These ones are the sales part. So you can be a PM who wants to transition into sales, so you want to move into sales engineer, or you're already into sales, enterprise sales, you're a key account executive, you're an SDR, you're a BDR, or you are traditionally just into traditional sales, but you want to move into the tech sales of things, move into sales engineering roles. Then you have product architects, right? These guys, they're responsible for uh creating modular designs and business outcome, right? As it were, hiring companies like Synopsys, Google, Amazon, a lot of startups too are hiring for these roles, right? And salary ranges from 165,000 to as far as 349, almost $350,000, as it were. That's the average benchmark we put there. Then we have technical product managers or technical AI product managers who manage complex APIs and platform life cycles, right? So you have companies like Superhuman, Zeta Global, who are currently hiring for this role now, and they are paying within $125,000 to $264,000. And we have AI solutions architect. These are high ticket B2B strategic sales roles, right? And experts, right? So higher companies in this niche are Megatronics, Skillina AI, and they are paying within the range of $115,000 to $350,000. So I hope you really get to maximize this information I'm giving you. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel as of now, please do well to subscribe, as we are on a journey to start providing you massive value via this channel. Not just training, but massive value, free value like this. Taking our time to always prepare amazing research and solutions for you in this manner, right? So moving on, we have other rules, right? So those to just be a brief walkthrough. I want to be doing much more detailed stretch on it. So we have the global compensation trends, analyze talent tier, uh depend on the experience level. So before I go there, you have other roles like AI marketing consultant and the likes. I didn't add that slide. I'm going to create a separate video on that. So yeah, I'll create a separate video on that. So let's move on. If you want videos on marketing AI rules or AI and marketing rules, growth rules using AI, machine learning, deep learning, whatever it is, compliance that is currently in the high paying sector, comment and we would make that video. So let's move on. So the global competition trends and elite talents here, as it were. So for experience, different experience level determine the average salary, right? I bracketed Nigeria here because Nigeria, if you're in Nigeria, you might still be getting this kind of roles remotely and you'll be paid this. But in Nigeria, you would most likely not get companies that can pay you this in Nigeria because of course economic situation. Then we have focus area, then we have the experience level as it were. So if you have let's start from junior level, 1 to 2 years, which is this here. You would typically, uh, if you are focused in specialized AI and you're a machine learning developer, yes, or you're into cybersecurity, you would be earning the average level of $131,000 if you have this, if you're at this level, right? But if you are in the African region or in Nigeria specifically, of course, no company in this region will be able to pay you this for this level of experience, right? You might move up to this level of experience and still be able to earn this, but yeah, it will depend on the company hiring you, right? That means they value that role very well, right? Then mid level, which is 2 to 4 years, if you're a full stack or you're a quality assurance or quality tester, or a software tester, an experienced one, right? You're a senior product designer, just UI UX alone now. I just put UI UX there as a frame, like a product design system engineer as it were, right? And then you can earn within this range. Then if you are in the senior level, which is 5 to 9 years, then and you are probably in the back end engineering space or in data science space, this is your average salary, right? And if you are a lead, you're in the lead level, which is above 9 years or 9 years and above, you are probably cloud infrastructure, you are into the strategy level in terms of product specialists, the PMs or CTO roles, or even compliance lead roles, right? The minimum salary you earn is $160,000. So yes, so that's for the global compensation trends, right? Then we now have the roadmap to all of these parts. So for cloud infrastructures, we have recommended certifications. I'll be adding a link to download this particular resource so you can also use and use it as a guide for yourself, right? And this would help you shape which certifications you're good for, right? So for cloud infrastructures, we have recommended certifications here: AWS Solution Architect, Azure Experts, right? We put why it matters there, right? Cybersecurity, you have your CIS, SSP, Security Plus, that's CompTIA Security Plus, CCSP as it were, right? Then for AI engineering, you have the IBM AI engineering certificate is good. Leadership, you have your PMP, your certified sales executive course, and the likes, right? We are also developing a global product management certification, which probably will be released towards later end of this year. So then, if you are in the specialized AI space, right, as your AI engineer and the likes, for cybersecurity too, you can take a program which is the Global GRC Practical Trainings, right? We are currently very solid in this space, so you can take our trainings, right? And we wrote why it matters here, right? Now, I wrote something that is very, very, very important here. I said recruiters now prioritize candidates who have built real products, contributed to open source projects, or completed meaningful internships over those who merely possess a degree from a top university. So practical portfolio is needed, and that is one of the things we help you do when you are taking any of our programs at Inegben Academy. It is purely practical, right? We have two phases: theoretical and practical. Theoretical is always from module 1 to like module 6 or 7, where you like introduce you to um the understanding of the fundamental aspect of things, the theories, the regulations, the frameworks, the standards, everything, right? Not just in our compliance programs, right? Also in our software engineering, right? We have a full length of almost 4 months of mathematics and computer organization architecture, data algorithms, and the like. So you are introduced to computer science, you are taught linear algebra, you are taught discrete maths. Then before we move into programming fundamentals are taught in module 6, and these are a lot of lectures to help you get started. So that is what we help you do when you learn at Inegben. The current software engineering program will soon kick off, right? Application closed already, but we might want to roll out a wild card after this video. So yeah, so basically that's the trend for the highest paying jobs in 2026 and going forward. But something I want to let you know is that this research suggests that the most successful professionals in 2026 are those who embrace a hybrid identity. What do we mean? The era of traditional specialization has ended, right? It has been replaced by a model where engineers must understand business outcomes and product managers must understand the technical nuances of model decay and biases. Then the high salaries reported from the 212,000 average of for senior machine learning engineers to the multi-million dollar packages for elite researchers are not merely a result of scarcity but of the immense value that these augmented professionals create. So, for individuals looking to break into this career path, the message from recruiters at companies like Google, Meta, and OpenAI is clear. Success depends less on where you studied and more on your ability to show real practical skills by layering technical AI knowledge onto existing domain expertise, whether in sales, architecture, or compliance professionals can position themselves at the forefront of the digital revolution, securing both high earning potentials and long term career stability in an AI first world. So, that is what we have for you for the highest paying jobs in 2026. Right, and if you're an employer watching this video, you probably need somebody to come in, or you need a team to come in and train your in-house team on compliance for AI and stuff. We offer that too at Inegben, right? So you can reach out to us via LinkedIn, via our email, Inegben at Inegben Inegben at Inegben.xyz, or partner at Inegben.xyz, or partnerships at Inegben.xyz, right? You can reach out to us via multiple platforms as it were, and we would respond to you. Again, if you have not subscribed to our channel before you leave, make sure you subscribe so that you can always get notification for any of our premium videos. And we just also roll out our membership, right? So going forward too, we would also be dropping some advanced, so this is surface level, some advanced mod where we'll have to break down this what's it called now, like this roadmap. We'll break it down in details, but that will be for our advanced for our membership, right? So you can also join our membership by subscribe to any of our membership plan. We have three tiers, right? You can subscribe to any one that you prefer, and you would get access to all of those materials and resources when we put them there. Till our next video, take care and God bless you.